the story wasn't told because of that little girl. The story was told because of the mom. And the moms was like, oh, I could relate to her because I speak to like my queens and myself. We're like 40s and above. So like we've been through that stuff. And it's at those points, at those moments when we have like this awakening of who the F are we? This is Vivian Velasquez.
And this is Raul Velasquez.
Welcome to the podcast.
All right, we're live. Welcome to the Got Money and Sex Podcast. My name is Raul Velasquez, and I'm here with a beautiful queen.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. My name is Vivian Velasquez. I'm excited to be here with you, my love.
You look amazing in pink. So tell us what we're going to talk about today.
I know pink is not my favorite color, but I figured I wear it because of the topic. So I don't know exactly what the topic is, but we went to see the Barbie movie last night, finally, because it's been such hype about it. And the hype has been from mostly our kids. And I don't know, we're going to talk about maybe the reaction that we had from the Barbie movie, and also, you know, a little bit of the feminine and masculine energy that, you know, and all the takeaways that we got from the movie. I thought it was a great movie.
Well, my son set up in a way that said, Dad, you're going to hate this movie.
He actually walked out.
He walked out in the middle of the
Yeah.
movie. He didn't watch it with us. He watched it with Abigail, his sister.
Yeah.
And I think that because he painted it in such a bad light, that
He actually enjoyed it.
Actually, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't
Yeah.
that bad. I saw some valid points. I definitely wouldn't watch the movie by myself. There was a couple of guys in there, which is a little bit weird. There was a couple of dudes there just watching it by themselves.
Yeah.
But
So funny.
if for a day night, I think it's a great movie for guys to take it for the team. If
Oh
you're-
no!
take it
That's
for the
extra.
team.
No. So we didn't go date night. You know, we don't really like to go, especially like I don't want to use my date night to go watch a movie, first of all, and Barbie movie, I don't want to use it. I don't want to use it for that. So don't say that to your team. No way.
But if you're a guy and your queen wants to watch the movie, just go.
Okay, yeah, that's so
Yeah,
sweet.
just-
That's so sweet. I would say just go with you know, a whole bunch of girls and, you know, make it like a fun girls' night. And
You know, I
go out
tell you
there.
the message. I mean, it was a bunch of insights that I got from there, especially at the beginning.
yeah,
When they started talking about how the Barbie movement got started. Before the Barbies dolls, I guess there were only baby dolls, which that was an interesting point. There's only baby, like the dolls of babies, and
so you could only be like
you
a
could
mom.
only play mom. And I
Yeah.
think that was a great insight for innovation.
Yeah,
For a
but-
product to come into the market saying, okay, we're going to put a different product into the market
type of
so that the little
doll.
girls could play. So that was a great way to see how it got started.
Yeah, so I remember, you know, first of all, like I feel like, I don't know, it's just every little girl that gets a doll, you just always feel like, you know, your mother instinct kicks in and you want to like take care of it, make it go to sleep, feed it. So I remember even like when I was a little girl, the Barbie that I had, first of all, like I remember two things when I was watching the movie. When I was a little girl, I had the Barbie movie. I had the Barbie doll. And when I had the doll, I remember like seeing that Barbie and thinking like, oh, I wish that I could have, you know, the long blonde hair. And I wanted to have like, you know, because Barbie had like the big boobs. And I was like, wow, I wish I could have all of that. And I had none of that. So it's like the disappointment of not having that, not being like that doll and not really being able to connect to that. So then my mom, it's so funny because then I remember this, like after, like my mom ended up getting like the Barbie doll, but she was actually the mom. So it was like a mom and then it came with a little baby in a carriage and the dollhouse. So then it kind of just took off the tension of like, I have to be like, or I want to be like this doll, like the all decked up type of doll. And I'm just going to play mom. So Barbie played mom again.
Wow.
So I kind of
Yeah.
felt like, okay, I could relate to this one a little bit more and not feel the pressure. It was just weird, like all this like insights that were coming for me. So as I was watching the movie, just seeing it, I guess, you know, as a coach, as a woman, always looking at the insights of like how I take away like the movie, not just, okay, it's just a movie like made, but like what is the takeaway that I want to take from the movie? How do I want to see it? How do I want to portray it? What is the perspective that I have? And for me, it was just like this, always what I teach the woman, it's like the battle between the feminine and the masculine energy. Like you just got to see it so vividly.
Yeah.
I think they did so beautifully. And also what they did so beautifully was just showing the actual Barbie scenes, the aesthetics of it, because it was just dead on.
Great production.
Yeah,
Great production.
dead on.
You know, and at the beginning of the movie, when they talk about the feminine and the masculine, well, they portray the feminine and the masculine. Like the Barbie world is such a feminine world run by women.
Right.
Everything is pink. Everything is awesome.
So perfect.
It reminded me of that Lego movie where everything is awesome, right? It was not a challenge.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they were saying that every day is a great day. Every day is an amazing day. And I think that's the mentality of people that want to have like a beautiful life and awesome. Like every day has to be awesome. Every day has to be amazing, right?
And then
Until
what happens
she
when
gets
it's
into
not?
reality, when the reality is that we all have depression, we anxiety, fears, but for their world, that wasn't okay.
It was a chaos.
It wasn't okay to have that. And the moment that she started feeling those feelings, real feelings, that's when everything started to crumble in her world. But the interesting part in there is that the Ken that was portrayed, because the Kens were like more like idiots. They were not like they were not helpful. The guy was just craving for her attention, right?
Yeah.
So then when Ken went into the real world with her, he discovered like, hey, I could be the boss. I could be the man. Like he actually got respect in this world versus getting respect in the Barbie world.
And that's something that we talk about a lot with, you know, the couples that we teach, how men really love to feel appreciation. I think both men and women, but you know, for men, it's just like this oxygen that they get. And that's how like he was when he actually like somebody seeing me for me. And that's kind of like, you saw it in the movie, and sometimes it's like vice versa, what happens in the real world. Because I know, like, I speak to a lot of women who are in households doing all these things, taking care of all this, you know, they're just doing so much, and they don't feel appreciated. They don't feel seen. And that's when we go into this battle ourselves. It's like, oh my gosh, how do I get this attention? How do I get the attention of knowing that I want to be appreciated?
And I think that we all have feminine and masculine energy.
It's
right?
just energies.
So the energy that we have at our core, a man who's very masculine is going to crave that respect, is going to crave that attention of like, I want to provide, I want to protect. And if a man is feminine, he's going to be very emotional. He's going to be very caring. And I think that the movie portrayed women in their power, right? They're running the world,
Right.
but they didn't
Barbie
need
world.
the man. So therefore the man became
Like a side.
emasculated.
Yeah.
Ken became more like a puppy.
Right.
So then the women were having their parties. It was what is it?
Girls' night
girls'
out.
night every
Girls'
single
night,
night, right?
yeah.
And Ken was out there saying, "Well, I guess that's
I want to
what
spend
it's
some
up to
time
be."
with you.
So then he didn't have any power. He didn't have a
Right.
power of saying, "Hey, you know, I'm a partner. I'm doing this with you. Like, you know, I don't want to be kicked to the curb."
Right.
So that's the toxic. Well, I would say toxic is the immature feminine.
Mm-hmm.
The mature feminine is the one that believes that they could do everything on their own, right? So the same thing as the mature masculine is the one that believes, okay, I'm gonna have the power.
Right.
So when Ken came back, he wanted to change things. So he wanted to run shit.
Right.
So he started running shit. So you have both aspects. When Barbie ran the world, she wasn't happy. When Ken ran the world, he wasn't happy either.
Yeah. And,
So it's a masculine energy. So then if we don't own who we are, if we don't give ourselves the permission to play the role that we feel that we are playing, there's going to be chaos. We're bending.
Yeah.
We're bending with each other. I was having a conversation today with one of my guys, and he's in a new relationship, and the woman he's with is very demanding, very needy, and he had to actually say no to a couple of things. Listen, I'm building a business. Like, I don't have time for this. And she got pissed. Well, maybe we shouldn't be together. And he realized, you know what, maybe we shouldn't. If you want all this from me, at this moment, I can't give you what you want because I'm building a business.
Right.
And she goes, your business is more important than me. And at that moment, he had to think about it. He was like, yeah, my purpose, my business, I can't leave my business. My business is my purpose. I'm fulfilling my purpose. So as a man, if a man doesn't have a purpose, if he's not fulfilling a mission, it's not fulfilling a accomplishing something, he's going to feel like he is not providing, he's not protecting, and you're asking him to play a role of the hairy girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because that's what the woman wanted from my client is, I want you to be my girlfriend because I don't want to have friends. I want to just all your attention. So in this movie, it portrays how when you only look out for yourself, when you're selfish in your needs, you're not open to see what the other person needs. You don't want them to play their own role. You want to manipulate to play the role that you want them to play.
And then also I think like when, now that you say that, it's like also like Ken validated himself, his worth on who Barbie was, right? Like, and sometimes that happens in our relationships, how we validate ourselves is like if my husband gives me the time in this relationship, I mean, I really can't say because it's a brand new relationship. So it's actually demanding time from each other. It's a brand new thing, right? But if you are in a long-term relationship like we speak to couples that are married for a long period of time, when you attach yourself to like who you are, and that's the only thing that I could be, if that makes sense. Like, so if I don't know who I am, if I don't know my worth and my value and who I play, like what role do I play in my life, then I'm always looking for you to validate who I am. And that kind of brings this dynamic into the relationship that it's not very healthy. It doesn't bring balance to like who you are as a woman and who you are as a man. So like if you are both looking to validate each other, then that's kind of, it's off balance, destructive. It's just draining. So I think, looking back and just towards the end when Barbie kind of realized like, well, who do I want to be? Who am I without all these fancy things, without having the house? And I thought it was, for me, it was like really great that the story wasn't told because of the little girl. The story was told because of the mom. And the moms was like, oh, I could relate to her because I speak to like my queens and myself. We're like 40s and above. So like we've been through that stuff. And it's at those points, at those moments when we have like this awakening of who the F are we right now and owning that part. And, thank God that there are other women out there that have done the work, that dedicate time, money, energy, all this productions to like speak to women just like me, just like you listening, and having this time to like wake up and know like, who am I without anything that's material attached to me? Who am I without my husband? Like that was one of the first questions that when I started my journey is like, okay, I love Raul to death. Like he is my man. He'll be my everything for a really long time till the end of time, right? But it's like if for some reason he's not around, who am I?
You have to develop your own identity as a woman, right? And
but
I think that's
we
where
get trapped into that,
and both for men and women, because in this case, Ken's identity was through Barbie. And Barbie's identity was through her perfect life.
Yeah.
So when there's no perfect life, she feels that she's missing her foundation.
And like when those things happen, especially like whether it was for Barbie or for us, for the women that are out there doing this like transformation, like you can't transform without the pain, and that's kind of like it happened to me, and it's happened to like all the queens that I'm teaching. It's like once we get to feel the pain, the discomfort, getting out of like the normality, the routine, and it's like, okay, what's next?
And I think that the message that I got from the movie as well is like there's a battle between men and women. There's a battle right now. Like the movie was very one-sided. Like men are the patriarchy. Men are the ones running the world. I understand. We've done so many things for so many hundreds of years. I get it. We haven't done, but at the same time, at this moment in life, we're not the same man that we were 100 years ago.
So and not every man is the same.
I think women are looking at men from 100, 200 years ago. It's like, no, don't judge me for who, like my ancestors. I'm trying to evolve here, right? So now we're not enemies. We are co-creators of this experience. So when women stop fighting with men and men stop fighting with women and give themselves the permission to play their role,
Right.
The role of being the protector, being the provider. And it doesn't mean that a man, doesn't mean that a man cannot be sensitive. It doesn't mean that a man cannot be in touch with his emotions. It doesn't mean that a man cannot have a soft side. It means that he has emotional intelligence to know when to tap into that soft side, when to have those emotions, not to be run by emotions, but to tap into his emotions. Because every time I get emotional talking about my kids, I get emotional talking about my parents, I get emotional talking about the things that I love, but I don't allow my emotions to run me. And I think that's where a lot of men may not connect with their feminine side because they're afraid to, if they get depressed or something happens, that they don't know how to handle it.
Have a balance,
and
right.
especially right now, the young men, they're trapped into being too emotional because now it's all about their feelings. I tell my son all the time, he's 17 years old, I said, listen, fuck your feelings. Don't rely on your feelings. You're a teenager. You're going to go up and down. You're going to feel like doing something. You're going to feel like not doing it.
Yeah.
Focus on discipline, on following through, do the hard shit that you don't want to do, and your feelings will catch up to your actions. So like what you said, growth doesn't happen without pain. That's feelings. If you have a painful experience, like, in the movie, one of the best Barbies was the wacky Barbie or the weird Barbie.
Yeah.
She didn't give a fuck about anything. She just was doing her, right?
And she was actually helping other people.
Because she was comfortable with herself, because she faced the pain of not being perfect.
Right.
And the moment that you start facing the pain that there's no perfection. We all are flawed. Men are flawed. Women are flawed. All we could do right now is do the best we can with this experience.
Right.
And not being each other's enemies by, instead of competing with each other, complementing each other. How can I complement? Like, your feminine energy to me lights me up. Like, Abigail's feminine energy lights me up. I can't, if I'm around guys all the time, I can't wait to go home to absorb that feminine energy that lights me up.
And then that's kind of where right now, I think in the world, in families and relationships, especially relationships, like, us as women, because we are in this masculine energy of just getting stuff done or in the workforce, we forget how important it is to feed our feminine energy. And I've been blessed to be around you and the men that you teach. And every time I hear them say, why would women want to be like men? Why wouldn't women feed their feminine energy? Because we're craving for that. What are they looking for the most? Their smile. And I'm like, really? That's what you're looking for? Not the big boobs and the butt. No, the smile, their essence, their skin that glows. That's our feminine.
The feminine is the demeanor that women are comfortable with themselves, that they allow themselves to laugh, to dance, to just be a feminine force.
Right.
That's why, I think that's why I didn't mind the movie, because it was such a lot of feminine energy there that I'm like, okay, it's good to see that
the beauty of it,
the beautiful aesthetics. At the same time, the movie was really pushing the point that everything had to be
perfect.
Everything had to be perfect. The feminine is the only way.
Yeah.
But the reality is the feminine is not the only way. The masculine is not the only way.
And
it's
that's
the combination of masculine and feminine that create the experience that we're looking for.
And that's kind of like what you said. We're not, and you say this in your own words when you teach. It's we're not each other's enemies. And then what you said before was we're not competing with each other, but we're complementing, enhancing each other. And I think, whether you're in a relationship right now or you're thinking about being in a relationship, when you get into that place of you're not competing to who's better, whose energy is better, who's gonna take over, this room or this conversation, but it's how do we complement each other? What parts of me can I show up and help you and enhance who you are? So I love what you said about, you wanting to be around the feminine and seeing that part because you are around the masculine all the time. And that kind of makes me want to okay, take care of myself even more because, taking care of the feminine, it's something that it takes time, it takes work. It's this consciously cultivating ourselves, and it's something that we don't do enough of. So I was talking to one of the queens that I was coaching, and I was telling her I've been coaching her for a little bit now, and she was saying how now she's cultivating her feminine. She actually catches herself even wanting to wear more dresses. and something that she hasn't done before, and I'm like, well, that's great. So how does that make you feel? And she was saying like when she wears a dress, she actually like just surrenders into letting go of like, and not in the wrong way, but how can like my man take care of me? Like I'm here, he's just going to pamper me and love me and like take it all in. And she said like in the past, she's never done that because it's always been from a place like, I got this. Like I'm going to take care of it because she's been always in her masculine. And again, like if you're listening to this, it's not to discount that we as women can't do it. We could do it. I know that we could do it, but it's okay to surrender into that.
A lot of women who are into the movement, like the Barbie movie emphasized, you could do anything. You could be a doctor, you could be a judge, you could be all these things. Right? You can do all those things, right?
Yes, you can.
But don't forget to tap into the feminine side.
And don't forget that
who you are in your core.
And then we also need each other.
So don't forget that you also are part of the ecosystem that allows like being a mother. I mean, that's being a mother for me is like the sexiest thing. Like a woman who's a mother is like has this more powerful being because you give him birth.
Okay, but not like a mother all the time to you.
But what would you want not to be a mother and just have a career and
everybody's
give away that gift.
Yeah,
right.
But everybody's different because not everyone is made to be a mother. That's a big responsibility too. So it's not for everyone. Obviously, like God gave us the gift.
But I tell you,
birth.
From a man's perspective, we are attractive to women who want to procreate. Is that in our subconscious mind? It's like just that you are attracted to men who could provide. Mm-hmm. We're attracted to women who want to procreate, who want to create, who want to give us kids, who want to continue to build the tribe. Yeah. So part of this game is knowing, okay, there's a masculine, there's a feminine. No, own your roles. Don't try to be the same.
I wouldn't say own your roles, but own who you are. Because if you say a role, then it's like all of a sudden now I'm stuck on this. Like I'm just going to be that role. But that's not necessarily true. Like there's times in our relationship where I'm not playing the role of, making dinner because then you come in and you're like, I'll help you. I'll take care of dinner tonight. So it's not necessarily like I'm the cook or I'm the whatever it is. Like I'm the businessman.
A role would be I'm taking care of the kids, right? A role would be I'm going to provide. So when you start really owning those, because it has to be structure in the family, like this role of the father,
like
role of the
you
mother.
are the head of the household, and I love that, that you make the decisions, and I'm like, I feel so taken care of, and that's the way that it's working out our household.
But at the same time, when I make decisions, I consult with you.
Of course.
And when I make decisions, we have this conversation. So it's not a dictatorship of abusing the power. Say whatever I say goes. Like whatever I do is perfect.
No.
It is owning your roles is owning the owning the responsibility. The responsibility is part of the role, like the responsibility of the leader of the family, the responsibility of the mother of the kids, the responsibility. So I think that, we do get confused between roles that society puts us on, the role, okay, I have to be the homemaker, I have to do this. No, I'm not talking about those roles. Roles are of your responsibility as the leader. Your role is to take care of what you signed up for, what you said you were going to do.
Right. And then that's when we talk about this too, like we always go back and we talk about like clear communication. And this is something that we continuously go back to. Like if you hear a podcast again and again, we're going back and saying about communication, clarity, commitment, your certainty, like where are you in the relationship? So in this Barbie world, it was like no communication, no commitment, no clarity as to like what was happening, right? It was like,
and that's what there was not relationship even till the end. Ken and Barbie didn't end up being together. They went their own ways because there was no clear connection.
You need connection. It's so important, and connection takes it also takes work. Like we've been in our relationship for 24 years plus, and it takes that commitment of knowing like, hey, listen, Raul, like this is the person that I am now. And do you still love me? Do you still want me? Like, how do we continue to move forward? Because, love could only get us so far.
I think the exciting part about having a partner for life is that you're growing together. You're growing together. And then what excites me is who we're becoming. Like, what are we doing? How our kids see us, how we have the conversation with our kids, how even having this conversation is part of the evolution.
Yeah.
Because even the way that we see things now may not be the way that we see things 10 years from now. But at least we know we have a solid foundation of who we are, that we connect with God or higher power, that we're producers, that we're passionate about each other, we connect. And that's the key, I believe, in a relationship, allowing the masculine, allowing the feminine, allowing the yin and yang to be able to grow and evolve. And
I love and I honor the part of you now, and you're my perfect Ken.
You're my sexy Barbie. So great. So three takeaways from this Barbie movie. Number one is feminine and masculine. You need that. If it's not a feminine and masculine energy in your relationship, if both are running on the masculine energy, like you're the boss, babe, and he's building a business, it's going to be a resistance. So somebody has to be, the feminine has to be the masculine.
I would say number two, just knowing who you are and what you bring into the relationship, and not attaching yourself to like validation from somebody else, not getting validation from the other person, and knowing that the happiness, your own happiness, is up to you.
And also knowing that you have to be a whole man, a whole woman, to be able to complete. Like there's no such thing as completing each other. You're not the better half, or he's the better half, or she's the better half.
You are a whole
You have
person
to be a whole person, and two wholes could make an impact.
1 + 1 = 3.
You want to talk about 1 + 1 = a threesome?
No,
that wasn't that kind of Barbie movie.
It was not.
And the third one is,
I would just say what you said was really dead on. Was, you're not competing with each other. You are complementing each other, enhancing who you are, and you're not each other's enemies. Like, you're in this world, both masculine and feminine, and husband and wife, and man and woman. Just, we're in this together, and I think it's so much more fun when we come from this place of like, hey, I got you. What you don't have, what you lack, I got.
Yeah, and that's the complementing each other, being able to complement each other, not compete with each other.
And I think that only happens when you truly know who you are and what you bring.
And the value you bring to the relationship,
market.
to the market, to the relationship.
Yeah.
Like there's value on both sides, and not discounting the value.
Yeah, I agree.
Excellent. So if you like this podcast, just make sure that you subscribe, continue to follow us, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, follow us everywhere except for our bedroom.
That's where we keep it very private.
Learn it, live
it, experience it. Love life.
If you receive any value from this conversation, comment, subscribe, and share as we continue to impact more people and take them to the next level.
And please send us your comments and questions so we could answer them in the next podcast.
See you in the next episode.